1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, 1, 1, 2. Maybe we can more volume. Maybe no. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Chad time. Shalosh Arba. That's pretty good. Can you hear me? Anybody knows what the quorum has to be? More than a million. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. They're 20, 21, 22. The minimum quorum for... no? Okay. Shh. All right. Oh, they count? All right. 6:30. Is that what it is? All right. It begins with welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And then says Devar Torah. That's moi. Devar Torah. So I thought that the holiday of Shavuot brought to mind perhaps one of the great mysteries of life, which is a reflection on what is the nature of time. What's the nature of time? And how to use that time. And I would say there are two theories about it. One that says that present is the real time. Like time is what we are experiencing right now. And the other theory is that only the past and the future in time are the real thing. So one theory is present is time and the other is past and future. Because really it's impossible to grasp the present. And I would say that in terms of Judaism, that has a lot of resonance with us. Because those who live the present ignore tradition and don't project themselves to the future. And those who live in the past and in the future, which is largely what Judaism talks about, Kaddish, holidays, traditions, all that is part of the past. What we're going to do tonight, which is Shavuot, the study of all night, that's a tradition of the past. But I would like to argue that the Judaism that I would like to see at Temple Bethel wants to lay equal stress in what happens now, what happened in the past, but a stress on what's going to happen in the future in this synagogue. To me, if we want to do something better for the future, it has to be because we have to put our minds in that future. And that means that we have to dedicate more time for learning. That means that we have to take more time for teaching observances around our people. That means that we have to take more time to think about our children's education. Preserving Judaism is one thing, but making Judaism relevant to the future generations, that is what I would like this new year, fiscal year, to be the goal. Because I think that the fullness of Jewish life at our temple, in my view, is living with tradition. True, but concentrating efforts in the future. The past is not enough. The past is limiting. The past is the broken tablets They need to be with us. But we need to keep reading the new tablets, the ones that came a second time down from Mount Sinai in a night like tonight. There are two arcs eventually. The arc of the past, personal, collectively as a synagogue, and there is a second arc of the living of the God of the future. And that is where I think we have to put our emphasis. To that future is what we have to concentrate our efforts, and I would like to concentrate my efforts in the next couple of years. And that is the reason we have this meeting tonight. It's the meeting of the congregation, but it's the meeting to dream about the future. And with that, I would like to wish each one of you a Sameach Shavuot. Chag Sameach. Toda Rabbah. We're now going to slightly dip into the past to recognize all the people that passed away that are connected with Temple Bethel and a part of our community. I want you to know that thinking of the future, we said and we're saying Kaddish for them, at least for 30 days. And this year, we're innovating by having some people saying Kaddish for 11 months minus 1 day. We have 4 or 5 people in that category. Because we care about the past, but our mind is towards the future. So please rise as I chant what it's called the Kel Maleh Rachamim for our members. Kel Maleh Rachamim shochen bamromim Am שמנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמות ידידינו חברי הקהל הקדוש הזה שהלכו לעולמם. אנא תהיינה נפשותיכם צרורות בצרור החיים ותהי מנוחתם כבוד. שבע שמחות את פניך נעימות בנך נצח ונאמר Amen. May the memories be always recalled for a blessing. Amen. And now it is the turn of our president. Please be seated.
Welcome. I can't believe so many people showed up to study until 4 a.m. with me, Rabbi, and Michael Miller today. So that was a joke that didn't go over that well. Shavuot, people are studying here, so hopefully people will stay. Thank you, Rabbi, for the words, for the Devar Torah. I think the first order of business is to approve the minutes from our last annual meeting, and I think that people received those on the way in, and I'm wondering if somebody has the courage to make a motion to approve those minutes. I see Jack has done that. Okay. Is there anyone who's going to second that? Gerald? And is there any discussion about the minutes? Corrections? Something that someone thinks we need to address here? Okay. Really? Okay. Yeah. All right, so all in favor of approval of the minutes, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? All right, let the record reflect that all were in favor. The first thing we're doing in this part of the evening is our finance report. And Evan, are you feeling like you're ready to come up here and reveal all the numbers? So do we have another slide for that? Yeah, okay, great. I'm going to turn this over to Evan for a moment.
Thanks, Matt. I always say to myself, the first thing I want to do after a hard day of work is giving a budget forecast. So here we go. I always like to start on the positive, and that is that the finances for the temple are in the black. We are an active, vibrant organization, and we are able and have been successful at managing our budget. And even as expenses have increased, it's no secret that there are inflationary pressures that make everything go up, from cost of labor to supplies, et cetera. We have been able to manage it, and that's no small feat. And there are two people in particular I want to thank for making this job much more manageable, and that's certainly Debbie Zager and Leon Gosson, whose counsel has been very valuable to all of us, and he's also on the Finance Committee. So I had mentioned this, and it was in the minutes from last year, that there is a process that we go through in terms of making financial decisions for the temple. The first round of review goes to our Finance Committee. Once we review the financials for typically the prior month, we review it with the officers and then go to the full board and present on a monthly basis. And that kind of overview has been helpful, very helpful, in terms of keeping us all on track and allowing the process to be transparent, and has allowed us to stay in a positive financial position. So with that being said, I want to just very briefly touch on a couple of things here. I'm not going to go through every line item, and if there are questions, I'm happy to talk to people individually about that, happily. We are hoping that our dues will increase from the forecast for this year. There will be a 5% increase. It is something that we are hoping people will generally accept and participate in. And I almost take the word dues with a major grain of salt. I think of dues for my gym membership, This is a place of inclusion and belonging, and it takes all of us to keep this institution going forward. And so I look at that line item and feel that with everybody's help in trying to get more people involved, increase our membership, and to rely on the generosity of its members, we will be successful going forward. The school, as you can tell, is just been amazing, and Mandy has done a tremendous job in leading that. And so with the proposed budget, we feel very comfortable forecasting quite a big increase. I believe that Camp Keshet is full already. People are knocking down the doors to get in, and that's a wonderful thing. Most of the other line items here are pretty self-explanatory. However, I do want to just quickly touch on the Farish grant. That grant keeps us in the black, and I'm hoping that at one point we will be able to do things to bring in more revenues, such as having more renters. We certainly have brought in, and successfully so, Temple Beth David, which is a wonderful thing. And there was a great celebration of bringing their tours into the shul last week. I think it was last week. And growing our endowment, I think, is going to be a key move into being able to add to the revenues and keeping everything on the right track. So with Farish's help, I'm hoping that we will be able to do just that going forward, grow the endowment, get their participation in it, and bring in our membership to also contribute. That's it for the revenues. Do we want to go to the expenses? Now the pain. Call the expenses. No, I'm only kidding. Professional salaries are basically staying the same. We've kind of moved around things in terms of where contracted clergy are going to be. We still obviously do not have a permanent chazan, and so there are visiting chazanim that are now kind of filling the gap as we move forward in that process. School operations, building operations and supplies, everything's going up. Security is increased, utilities and fees is increased, so we can understand why we need to bring up the revenue side of the equation. Going down to the deficit, if you can pull that down a little bit, Debbie, we believe that at this point, with the Farish Foundation grant that we are hoping to receive again this year, that our net income is slightly in the red. We are hoping to close the gap with more contributions, charitable and otherwise, and more revenues from other activities that are of a fundraising nature, like the golf tournament and like what we did with the Whiskey Barrel fundraiser, which was tremendously successful. Just trying to be creative in terms of the offset here. And that's basically what I got. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand it back to Matt.
Are there questions? Yes. So I'll just point out that one thing that is different this year from last year is that we have outsourced our bookkeeping, right? No? Is that different from last year?
We did that for the first year this year.
My takeaway for that is we have switched where a bunch of things are sitting. So yeah, we had expense for visiting clergy last year, and we have them booked in to this year as well.
It's a great question, but it is confusing because we didn't put it in the line item, so I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, Howard. I don't have the exact figure. It's in the $2 million range, I do believe, without looking maybe dollars and cents exactitude. Executive director, and you're right. It is the rabbi. It's visiting clergy. It is the executive director. There is a budget line item to have an assistant executive director as well. 500 hours a week, and is there 8 days in a week now? But as far as it goes, that includes those professional salaries. you're doing is you're taking a forecasted figure and you're dividing it into months, and then you're trying to forecast in terms of the amount of money that you've received over, say, 10 months, forecast that forward. So I believe we had somewhere in the range of 200,000 collected last month, in March, which is a huge amount. So it's very difficult to line that up. That gets reconciled by the end of the year. So I'm not exactly sure where it stands in terms of actual funds collected. Am I putting that one right, Leon?
This forecast was based prior to March. So if we got 200,000 in March, that's unusual.
Then it only makes the forecast correct.
I guess this is not a budget item, but how is membership going? Is it up, down, flat?
Remained relatively flat is my understanding.
Interesting that you're getting a number of inquiries and I'm not creating them, and then I tell you the annual budget meeting and that's not taking place.
Good question. If anyone has any other questions you want to approach me on, I'm happy to talk to you.
I think it's our tradition here to have the membership approve the budget. So I'm looking for a motion. Leon is motioning to approve. Jack is second that. Is there anybody who wants further discussion on the budget? Jack. And all in favor of the budget, of approving the budget, please raise your hand or say aye. And are there any nays here? I'm seeing no nays. And are there any abstentions? I'm seeing no abstentions. Okay, the budget is approved. I think I'm going to make the nominating committee report. Unless that's, nope, okay. So I actually didn't sit on the nominating committee this year. Marty Spicconi led it, and he really did a great job and is bringing forward, I think, a nice group of trustees. I first want to start by thanking Leslie, who I see here tonight, and Leah Goldman, who is not here, because they are both coming off of the board. And really, Leah led our strategic plan. She is actually working at Federation now, and I think that she felt like she couldn't be a part of the board here. And Leslie has the exact right thing to say at the end of every meeting, and so we really appreciated you being a part of the board. Adding or extending and adding board members. Mark Brugg, who's extending. Ellen Konar we're adding. Valerie Chufo. These are all people who are placed forward to be added to the board. Valerie Chufo, Rachel Musiker, Allison Fogel, who was an officer but is no longer going to be an officer, and Marcia Stern, who's extending her time. So those are the board of trustee members, and the nominated officers include me, Roberta Feldman, Aviva Shulcott, Lena Spicconi, Evan Spindelman, Howard Goldberg, Gerald Gamm, Ed Glazer, and the only new officer is Lisa Tellem. She's been a previous board member, and she's amazing, and we're really excited to have her as an officer. So that's the slate, and it's the duty of the congregation to approve that slate. So I'm looking for a motion to approve that slate. Okay, Max. And seconded, yeah, all right. A second by Gail. Is there anyone who has any discussion about the slate? Gerald does.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, it's not your duty necessarily to approve the slate, you're welcome to suggest other people.
Yes, thank you.
To not approve the slate,
Jack, you have something to say? Okay, fair. I hope there's not going to be high drama like that here. So, Gail, you have something to say? Thank you, Gail. So I think we should bring this to a vote. All in favor of accepting this slate, please say aye. Raise your hand. Any nays in the room? No nays I'm seeing. Any abstentions? Not seeing any abstentions. But really, maybe Gerald and I shouldn't vote. I don't know. Some of maybe. Yeah, good point. Okay, fair. I'm glad we have you here. Okay. So that was the nominating. I think Rabbi does an installation now. Is that what's happening?
So if you are here, one of nominated officers, please rise. We ask your blessing, O God, upon those who have been elected to lead and serve our congregation. As they perform the duties, keep them ever mindful of the high purposes to which they and we are dedicated. Help them to be faithful heirs to those who have preceded them, and worthy predecessors of those who will yet follow. As our new elected officers strive to achieve their goals, may they help to keep us faithful to our traditions and to our tasks. We ask of God to bless them. And I think, under the power of the rabbinate, I consider you now installed officers of Temple Bethel. May you be blessed in many ways, and may you find favor before God and the people of Israel. Amen. You are installed. And to those who have completed the service, to Leslie and to Leah, we say, may God bless you for your devotion. We will carry forward the work that you have advanced, and may we add to your efforts whatever achievements you completed, and may we always be reminded of your greatness, your dedication to our temple, and may the Almighty continue inspiring you to give counsel to the new installed officers. Thank you very much. You are now discharged. And now,
I'm going a little bit out of order, but what? Does he have something more? Yeah, we did the board members. Oh. Moving on. I wanted to mention three people who are here tonight who have, I think, really kept the wheels moving at Temple Bethel over the past couple of years. Rabbi and Debbie have both been here for 10 years, which is a super milestone. Carol's not here, but she's been here for 10 years, which is great. And we missed Mandy's 5th year last year, so she's 6 now. And I would say of the people who keep this place moving, those are pretty much them. I mean, there's volunteers give time in various ways, but the Rabbi, Debbie, and Mandy are really, we should have some gratitude for what they've done over the past few years. Okay, I'm going to go to the president's report. So A number of you, I'm sure, were at the meetings that we held, I think, in February of the congregation. Some of this is going to be repeating. I'm not going to go at great length, but I want to talk a little bit about some things that have occurred over the year that I think we're proud of, and some things that we still have that still need attention, that we're going to draw our attention to in 2023-24. I think adding Temple Beth David, to the building feels really good to the officers and the board. I hope it feels really good to the membership. It comes with, I think, a little bit more vibrancy in the building, which, we had vibrancy certainly before the pandemic. We're starting to get it back now. It's really nice to have a bunch of dedicated people from Temple Beth David that are here on a regular basis. That's really great. And there's a nice financial reward to it too, because they're actually paying us some money to be here, which is really good for us, and I think will help over the long term to sustain what we're doing. Temple Beth Am, similar. So that is more ongoing. So Beth David, right? We've signed a lease. They're here. They had their first Shabbat last week. Beth Am, I think, is a little bit different story. It's a congregation that is in a different place in its trajectory, right? And I think that they really want to merge with us. Bobby Feldman and I are working through a process with them to do that. It's it requires some work with New York State. It requires some work with the conservative movement. And it's likely to happen in this next fiscal year. I think it has also added some people to our community here at Bethel, and that's been really great. It adds a whole nother set of traditions and stories, and that's been really great. And again, there's a nice financial aspect to it, which is that there is some financial positive outcome from doing a merger with them, at least from what we can see right now. So we'll keep you posted on how that's going, and but it's something that's going to require some attention over the next couple months, and it should have it should continue to be a positive thing for us. Rabbi Bitron, he is, he's been here for 10 years, as we mentioned, and the officers and the board followed a process to kind of work through what might happen at the conclusion of his contract, which is coming up, and the rabbi and the board have. The rabbi and the officers really have entered into a set of terms for extension of his contract. It is not in writing yet, but it will be in writing soon. Rabbi and I are working on that with some outside counsel as well, and that is in the works. That is something that is going to get completed soon in our new fiscal year. Chazan Myers. So Chazan Myers is someone who Temple Bethel has contracted with to provide, I would say, a little bit of community and education around bar and bat mitzvah. So I would say Sarah, I want to call her Sarah Flom. What is Sarah's name? Sarah Ressler and Aviva Futterman, Shochat, have really, those two families have kids in the upcoming B'nai Mitzvah class. And they got together, and I think that they identified that we haven't in recent past had like a very strong connection among the families. And it's probably a little bit of a missed opportunity for us to connect those families in a way as they're going through that. Along came Chazan Myers, who really wanted to connect with Temple Bethel, and she's come in, and I would say that Debbie and I have received a number of really positive comments about her ability to connect with families and how good they feel about what Sarah and Aviva are doing to bring people together, and about what Chazan Myers is doing to maybe create a little bit more formality to the process. Education. So in the past couple of years, we have people are probably aware that we've contracted with Periphery, a consulting company, who really believed that they could help us create a curriculum and operate our education program. And I think they have created a curriculum that is new, that is different, that is attractive to people in different parts of the community, and we are not working with them in the very same way in this upcoming fiscal year. We do not have a big contract with them. I expect that we will have some connection with them, but we are taking really all the things that they have helped us put in place and moving forward with those. I also think what I'm noticing is that there are parents who are like coming back to the table. So I think we had a real problem during COVID with attracting parents to be involved in our education program, and it was hard to even get people to come and give commentary about how they felt it was going. But I would say over the past 4 months, I've had a lot of communication with people, and it feels like we're going to make some progress on building on where we are for education. And that's not to, I mean, I should mention Keshet, which, you saw the finance piece on it. It's an amazing program in the Rochester community, and I think, Mandy has done a really great job of building on it, building on, what was there before and building it up to what it is today. So that's something that we're going to continue with. Development. I would say about a year ago, Evan pointed out that maybe we aren't doing enough with development in the recent past. And I think it was hard for us to do a lot with development during COVID. I think that we have a commitment from a number of people to consider what we can do next, what's the right next few moves for the synagogue to help to build a more sustainable future by being able to put more dollars away on an annual basis so that we could do what Howard was pointing out, which is draw from a group of funds that are actually there just to sit in the corpus that we can earn returns on and use them for operating in the future. I will say now that we are likely to come to you with a launch of an endowment campaign in the next couple months. Clergy. For the high holidays, we have Cantor Audrey Abrams coming back. We have Chazan Cohen coming back for Slichot, for Sukkot, for Passover, for Yom HaShoah. We have Chazan and Rabbi Osterklein, those are two people, for Purim, for Shavuot of next year? They're coming tonight, yeah, okay. And for some Shabbat coming up. So there's going to be a lot of really interesting things going on that we've already engaged in. And what we're also going to be doing is working on a search for an engagement clergy person, a senior rabbi, and a chazan. And I'm not necessarily saying that we seek to hire 3 new full-time people, but we definitely need help with all 3 of those areas, and we're gonna figure out the right way to bring some more clergy resources to the synagogue from people who are community members, who live here, who are part of the Rochester community and are here on a more regular basis. I think that's it. Debbie, am I missing anything? Does anyone have any questions about anything that I went through or something that like you thought that we were supposed to be working on that we haven't finished or? Okay. With that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the meeting, no? Yeah, is there something? Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say in front of everybody how grateful I am to you for continuing to express it. This is a big job that Matt's doing, and I think Matt has a lot to become about the job, but I also think it's not a job that Matt would do if somebody else were stepping up right now. And I owe Matt a lot. We all owe Matt a huge amount for his leadership and his willingness to lead us for the next year. And I just want to say that out loud.
Thank you. Yeah. Gerald and I had a short talk before we came in together. So motion to adjourn, anyone? Motion to adjourn. Okay, Gerald, second, in the back. And all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? No? Okay. Rabbi's got a service for us now, I think. Yeah?
Right. Following with our schedule, we will go for a mincha service now, which we can find in page 1 of our blue Siddurim in front of us. We will pray to the almighty screen. No, we have to move it. Sorry. Couldn't resist. But then after mincha, we will have dinner. After mincha. There is food, and then after that, there is Ma'ariv downstairs, and we have desserts. And then we have our sessions beginning at 9 o'clock until 4 a.m. Is that good? That's good enough. All right, so page 1. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha od yelalucha salam. תהילת אדוני ידבר פי ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד ואנחנו Hallelujah. Please rise. Page 3b is the mincha of Chol, the mincha of weekdays. We do Eiche Kedusha. We go together through the Kedusha on page 4 and then continue silently. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גואל לבניהם בניהם למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוסן ופוקד ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים בתריו להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, שומך נופלים ברופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מחמוך בגבורות
ומדום לך מלך ממית ומחייב ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלך כל הארץ כבודו לעומתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך יבוד אדוני ממקומו בקודשך כתוב לאמור ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפיר לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש Continue Kaddish Shalem, page 10. יתגדל ויקדש שם הרבה, ילמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובמכון ובחייכו בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. ישמר רבה מבורך לעולם ולא מעולמי יברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויטומא מנעשה ויתעל ויתעלה ויתהלל שמלקודשה בריחות. אלא מכל ברכתיו שירתה ושפחתה ונחמתה תעמידם בעלמא ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותנו ובעלותיהון לכל ישראל קודם עוון דבשמיא ואמרו אמן. יש למד רבה משמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית שלא עשה מגילויי הארצות ולא שם את משפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגור עלינו ככל עמונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שעונות השמיים ויוסף כי המלכות שלך היא לא מעט ימלוך וכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. This afternoon we recall the lives of those who have passed away in the last 30 days. Rebbetzin Nechi Kalibnik, Asya Pesach, and Arnold Moshkavskaya. We continue saying Kaddish for Stephanie Krush, Fern Weintraub, Michael Kravitz, Lenora Klein, and Marty Lukatcher. Yortzai for today, the eve of Shavuot, the 25th of May, the 5th of Sivan. We recall the lives of Albert R. Barnett, Evelyn Berlowitz, Lillian Bayer, Gary J. Dworkin, Louis Frankel, Herman Krieger, Sarah Mitlovsky, Abraham Mitlovsky, Maya Rubin, Leonard G. Scarson, Celia Weinstein, and Ruth B. Weiner. Any other name that I haven't mentioned? Nope. So mourners will join me in the recitation of Kaddish Yatom, page 12. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemer rabah. Ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayerechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lo me'olmaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. Ve'yithadar ve'yitaleh ve'yithalal shmei rekudesha brichut. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushvechata v'nechemata da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. So my understanding is we are now gathering over here. Garden room? Auditorium. We're going to the auditorium for dinner, light dinner. There are a pair of keys found in the parking lot. Car keys, I believe. Found in the parking lot. Oh, they were on the floor. Keys. I hope not mine. We'll reconvene downstairs after the dinner for Ma'ariv and desserts at the beginning.